What would you do if the forest you trusted turned against you? For Hannah, a simple hike became a fight for her life. Hannah loved hiking. The freedom of the trails, the fresh air. It was her way of escaping the stress of city life. But on one solo trip into the wilderness, she found herself trapped in a place that refused to let her leave. It was early morning when Hannah set out on her hike. The trail was quiet, the forest alive with the chirping of birds and the rustle of leaves. But as the day wore on, the sounds began to fade. By late afternoon, the forest was eerily silent, and she realized she had lost the trail. Hannah checked her map and compass, but nothing made sense. Every direction she walked seemed to lead her back to the same spot. A small circular clearing surrounded by trees so dense they blocked out the sun. At first, she laughed it off, thinking she was overreacting. But after hours of walking in circles, panic began to set in. As night fell, Hannah decided to stay put and wait for daylight. She built a small fire in the clearing and tried to keep her mind occupied. But as the flames flickered, she felt it. A presence watching her from the darkness. She turned, flashlight in hand, and scanned the tree line. For a moment, she thought she saw movement, a shadow too large to be an animal slipping between the trees. Her heart raced as she tried to convince herself it was nothing. But then she heard it, a low, guttural growl. The sound was deep, resonating through the clearing like a warning. Hannah backed closer to the fire, clutching her flashlight like a weapon. The growl came again, closer this time. And then she saw it, a pair of glowing eyes staring at her from the shadows. The creature stepped into the firelight, and Hannah's breath caught. It was massive, its body twisted and hunched, covered in fur that seemed to ripple as it moved. Its face was monstrous, a grotesque mix of human and animal features. It didn't move like it belonged to this world. Hannah froze, every instinct telling her to run, but her legs wouldn't obey. The creature tilted its head, studying her like a predator sizing up its prey. Then it lunged. She screamed and threw her flashlight at it, grabbing a burning branch from the fire and swinging it wildly. The creature recoiled, snarling, its glowing eyes narrowing. Without thinking, Hannah bolted into the forest, branches clawing at her skin as she ran. No matter how far she went, she could hear it behind her, its heavy footsteps pounding through the underbrush. The forest seemed endless, the trees closing in tighter with every step. Just when she thought she couldn't go any further, she stumbled out onto the highway. A car screeched to a stop as she collapsed onto the pavement, gasping for breath. When she looked back at the tree line, the creature was gone. But she could feel its presence, watching, waiting. Hannah never went hiking alone again. She still dreams about the clearing, the fire, and those glowing eyes. And sometimes, when she's driving late at night, she swears she sees a pair of glowing eyes in her rearview mirror. Have you ever felt trapped by something you couldn't explain? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying tales.